Hi guys, it's Dylan from Bijou Diamond Jewellery in London with another watch video, and today we're taking a look at our servicing and polishing department here at Bijou Diamond Jewellery. So we're going to take a real brief look at the types of service that we offer. But first it's really important to discuss our watchmaker and actually the way in which we go about it. So our watchmaker has extensive experience with brands all across the watch industry. He actually came from Audemars Piguet and worked there for many years before he came to us. So he has extensive experience not only with all brands, but also with the very, very top end brands. Watches and movements that are finished to an incredibly high level. He's helped to work on and create those watches that we see in the industry now. And he's also worked in the polishing department as well, so he's able to polish and finish watches to an exceptional level as well, like the Royal Oak, for example. Something that our clients really love about us and servicing their watches with us is the fact that our servicing is all done in our London workshops, all done here in London. And the reason why clients love that is two main reasons. First reason is the speed. It means that our servicing times are much quicker than most other brands out there. At least half the time, if not sometimes much more than that. And another thing that clients really love about our servicing, the fact of being in London, is also that they know it's in-house with ourselves, it's in our own workshop. They know it's not being outsourced to different companies, inside or outside of the UK. They love the fact that they know their watch is going to us and us only. And the reason that's important is because often these watches that we're servicing, for our clients at least, is their everyday watches, the watches they wear every single day on their wrist. And for most of the clients, and including me as well, I don't like to be without my watch for very long. To be able to know that your watch is really local, or it's going to the person you know exactly who it's going to, and it won't be away from you for too long, is a really, really nice feeling. So roughly what is involved in a watch service? Well, it really depends on the actual watch that we're servicing. Different watches have obviously different movements. They're designed to do different things, and different movements mean a different type of service is required. So for example, even a small example, it would be a Rolex Daytona versus a Omega Speedmaster. Even though they're both chronographs and they're both serviced in a very similar way, because the Daytona is automatic and the Speedmaster is manual, it means that they're serviced in a completely different way. So the different ways of servicing watches changes a lot, but essentially what we do during a service is completely dismantle the watch, completely dismantle all the movement inside, and we clean every single part inside an ultrasonic machine, and that includes every single part within the watch. So once we've cleaned all the parts of the movement in the ultrasonic cleaners, we then start to rebuild that movement again. And as we rebuild, we actually add fresh oil to all the parts that need oil in the watch. And we check everything in that watch as we're putting it back together again to make sure that everything is perfect as it should be for that timepiece or that caliber movement. And the fresh oil means that movement will be able to last much longer. It should run smoother, there won't be any grinding, etc., etc. Quite often people will come to us for a service and polish and combine the two services at once. As we remove the movement from the watch, we can also efficiently polish the whole case and bracelet of the watch as well. So it's a really good opportunity for us to be able to get in there and do everything properly at the same time. But something people often don't understand about servicing with watches is, why would you service your watch? Well, it comes really down to two main reasons. We see two main excuses for clients servicing their watches. The first one is maintenance. So as you should service your car every year, some people will service their watch every 3 years or so. And that's just good practice to get into. Certain brands recommend more regular service than others. For example, Rolex recommends every 5 years. You could probably extend that to 7 years if you didn't want to do it every 5. But it's a good habit to get into, servicing a watch, keeping it fresh, keeping that oil inside the movement nice and fresh, and that's going to prevent any damage from occurring. It's a really, really good habit to get into. People are put off because it is expensive, obviously more expensive than not servicing a watch, but definitely it's a good habit because down the line it's much less likely that you're going to have a damaged movement. Our clients that service their watches as the recommended amount by the brands see much less damage, or we see much less damage from those movements, and therefore they tend to actually spend a little bit less in terms of replacement parts. And the second reason that we see servicing is the most common reason. I'd say probably 80 to 90% of people that come to us for a watch service have this excuse, and that is that the watch isn't working properly. For example, losing or gaining time, making a weird noise, or just not working at all. That tends to be because you've gone too far. You haven't serviced your watch, or you've abused it maybe beyond its level of use. For example, Rolex as well, lots of our clients have this issue, but Rolex recommends 5 years, but that's kind of a general wear, not really a super intense amount of wear, maybe not every single day wear. And our clients that wear their watch every single day for absolutely everything, including gym, running, work, maybe knock it every now and again, and also sometimes sleep in it, mean that doubles or accelerates the amount of wear and tear on that watch, and therefore that watch should be serviced every 2 years or so. So it really depends on how much wear and tear you put on that watch. But generally, people come to us when it's a little bit too late, when the watch has actually started to damage itself or not work properly. One of the main reasons why we see watches not working properly, maybe losing time or stopping, is actually that the oil inside the movement is drying out. And what happens to the oil in watches is it becomes quite viscous, like treacle, and it means that the cogs can't move efficiently and as they should be, and therefore the watch loses time because there's too much resistance inside that movement. So usually this can all be remedied in-house, just with a basic service, like I said. We strip down the watch, re-oil it, and piece it all back together again. But occasionally watches need new parts, or actually to manufacture new parts. And the great thing is we have fantastic relationships with different brands, and to be able to get parts from them as well. So we're able to get authentic parts from different brands. Another thing that our clients really love about our servicing and polishing department is that our prices are much, much less than that of the brands direct. Sometimes half the price of brands. And really where clients see the biggest difference with us is the fact that the brands often recommend you to do things far beyond what you actually need to do for your watch to get it working again. Brands love to be able to make you spend way beyond what's needed, because it's another way for them to get revenue into the company. When you buy a watch 5-6 years ago, they've made money from that initial sale, but they are no longer making any money from you anymore. And it's the same with car companies. They'll always try and make sure you do service packs with them, and also spend probably much more than you ever need to on a service or maintenance of the car. It's just another revenue stream for them. And for us, it's completely different. We just do what's necessary for that watch to get it moving and get it correct and how it should be. Yes, you can go way overboard and go to the extremes and add what the brands ask you to add to a service, but it's not always necessary. And we always recommend to our clients exactly what's necessary for what they're looking for from that watch. And for that very reason, we have so many clients that have come to us now and service their watches only with us and polish their watches just with us, because the brands just always overcharged them in the past, and they were shocked at how much they saved with us, not only in money but also time. Without their watch, they had their watch much quicker with us, and they were only spending what they really needed to on that piece. So that's kind of concludes the servicing part. Let's look very, very briefly at the polishing part of our company or our watchmaking department. Polishing for us is a really important thing. Like I said, our watchmaker trained with Audemars Piguet for many, many, many years, and worked with them polishing the Royal Oaks or finishing the Royal Oaks in the factory. So his knowledge of how to finish a high-end timepiece is incredible. And for that reason, he's able to finish pieces to an ultra high-end level. I'm just showing you on screen now something that we did a couple of days ago on a Rolex Daytona that desperately needed some love. It was a daily wearer, and it was truly, truly abused, really exactly as Rolex intended it to be, maybe even beyond that. But it needed a full service. The watch wasn't working correctly, so we fixed everything, and we replaced the glass, the crystal on the watch with a genuine Rolex crystal. We completely polished and cleaned out and ultrasonic cleaned the watch. And now it looks absolutely fantastic. As you can see on screen now, it looks practically like a new watch. And that's credit to our watchmaker for his incredible skill and talent when it comes to finishing pieces. So that concludes our little video on servicing and polishing. If you want to get your watch serviced with us or polished with us, then don't hesitate to contact us. Our details are in the description, and also at the end of the video, we'd be happy to give you a quote for how much it will cost, depending on your timepiece, and give you a quote also for how long it was going to take.